let's just start up.
Holding.
Good evening. This is Father Bruce Wilson from Coastal Bend Community Empowerment, and I'm with Rose.
Hello, Roseanne Garcia.
And you are with who? Homeless
I'm
Helping
with
Homeless?
Helping Homeless United Peer Advocates.
And what is that?
Well, I am part of the group that will have a lived experience on the streets of Corpus Christi. We also participated with the small amount of time that we had with Tent City. And now we've kind of expanded on what our goals and values and our mission is with the Homeless Helping Homeless United Peer Advocates.
Rose has been pretty much, I would say, emerged as the leader among the Homeless Helping Homeless. The leader of those who really did want to get off the streets, who wanted to move away from a dysfunctional family
Yeah.
and to create a healthy community, because the street family is dysfunctional, understanding and acceptance, but also abuse. But you get stuck there, like you get stuck in an abusive relationship. It is an abusive relationship, but Rose has been able to kind of lead the way for her peers to trying to build a healthy community that's safe, supportive, positive, and honest.
And
right?
honest. Honesty is key.
And the trust,
trust.
It moves at the speed of trust, right?
Bottom line.
So we spent a couple of years just working on that, figuring it out, developing a small group that fluctuates. Unfortunately, some of the group who come on strong for a while then fall back into their addiction. Rose has had a few relapses.
I have.
Right?
And what's helped me is being honest, acceptance, and sometimes not so honest, but once you get to know somebody, they know you better than you know yourself. So that's one thing, that accepting the help that's out there and accepting that I've been accepted for the good, the bad, the ugly, and the rough.
Yeah.
Has helped me get through it.
So we've spent a few years just working on the community. The people who are left on the street, as we continue to reach out to them and invite them to be part of a healthy community, we begin to recognize that they really are stuck. And yet they really want to get off the street. They're really sick and tired of being sick and tired. And they're in a cycle. Some of it's not even their fault. Like the ones, I've been taking videos recently of the ones who they're waiting out on the streets for the Social Security office to call them back. They're waiting for Corpus Christi Housing Authority to contact them and let them know that they're high on the list and that they need to start going to a different level in the process. They're waiting for somebody to, always they're waiting on some organization, some agency who's going to get back to them, and they just have to wait. And while they wait, they gather enough supplies to live on. They gather documentation that they need. They gather medication that they need. Sometimes they begin to get and they begin to self-medicate. But I don't know how many people have lost their backpack with all of their everything.
And lost meaning being taken. Not
Right.
so much, oh, they forgot it somewhere. You have a variety, it's a wide spectrum of how these things are taken and by whom.
Their own friends, their own dysfunctional family takes their backpack. But the videos I'm taking now, I'll just say it, is the people who kind of get to feeling too comfortable being where they are until the police show up and kind of sweep or raid a spot. Too many people hanging out here for too long, and now all of a sudden everybody's arrested or everybody's property is taken, and they have to start all over again, getting their ID, getting their Social Security card, getting their birth certificate, getting their documents, getting their medications, and it takes them another year, right? we are perpetuating homelessness for many of the people who are still out there. It's hard to get through all those barriers. But anyway, been there, done that. And over the past year, we did something different.
Yes.
And I haven't put any videos like this out for a year, so I'm trying to catch you up. For the past year, there was less. Our peer advocates continued to meet, continued to build a community, but we decided that it was time to just end homelessness.
Yes.
Right?
Enough was enough.
It's time to end homelessness. And it sounds kind of like a crazy idea, pie in the sky, and we hear that. You can't end homelessness. Well, guess what? Homelessness is being ended. It's across the country, there's a movement to end homelessness, and it's happening. There's no reason why we can't do that here in Corpus Christi. It's happening all across the country. So we looked into that. We looked into community solutions. We looked into the all-in program from the federal government. We looked into a number of different programs, which actually, even though they're different, they're the same. They have to create systems that end homelessness, and we have systems now that maintain homelessness.
Yes.
So we learned a lot about that, and we want to share that information. And so for this video, what we want to share with you is two segments of a 12-segment document that we've created. Because it's 12 segments, because each segment is only 3 minutes long to read it. It's only 3 minutes long because we're going to present that to the city council.
Yes.
You want to say any more about that?
Well, I think it's time that we be heard, and maybe if they see that or hear. Because a lot of times we get things in our hand and we just read. We won't really read through them, but if we see there's action, there's people out there. Again, a spectrum of people who do care, who would be helping out with these.
And the spectrum of people is people who are homeless, people who have a previous experience of homelessness, people who work with people who are homeless.
Yes.
So we were looking for a wide spectrum to actually present these sessions. At least two probably for every city council meeting, one to read the script and one to say, this is my personal witness about why this is important, right? And it is a way to be heard, but it's not adversarial, it's not confrontational.
No.
It's just a way to slow down and take one thing at a time, 1 week at a time. We'll give you 3 minutes at a time.
And maybe
right?
that commentary may not hit right then and there, but maybe driving down the road one day after they hear us, they'll see something that'll make them go back.
Yeah.
Their mind go back to what we were saying. And once it's something they hear, then they see, then they'll experience, and that relationship will start.
I think so. I hope so. Just think about it for a week. We're going to come back next week. We're going to pick it up where we left off. We're going to build on that. Every week builds. So for this video, we want to present to you the first two segments. Together, they create an introduction. So that's how we want to do both of them. Introduction part 1, introduction part 2. And so we're just going to set the stage. There's 12 segments. Tonight you get 2. We're setting the stage for the last 10.
Yes.
And we can't tell you yet who is going to present them. Our homeless community is still doing some editing, talking about which ones that they feel the strongest about, which ones that they would like to read. Some of them are trying to grab them up, say, I want to read this, I want to read this.
We have a great group of predominantly women with the lived experience that have really taken a hold of this and have gone above and beyond with, doing the work as far as getting it together and collaborating with you and presenting it to those of us that might not have all the time or the priority. The way they've made it a priority for them to get this done is, we have some really good, strong leaders even in that group of women that are, that are coming in and they're coming in strong, and that's what we need.
And they have a previous experience of homelessness.
Yes.
Some of them are like at the Purple Door or still experiencing that, a shelter experience. But yeah, some of them are really excited and they're trying to run ahead and say, I'm going to read this one, I'm going to read that one.
That's good because, a lot of us become just in still waters. Oh, it'll get done. it'll get done. And then there's
Okay.
others of us that we're afraid to make a move. But when somebody knows their forte and it's something, and they have a different vision, then and then can encourage those of us. Like me, I'll step back. I get overwhelmed, but I aspire one day to be just like that, because they're strong in where they stand, and that's what we need: courageous people.
Yes, they're kind of pushing the rest of us. So
Yes,
that's good.
That's what we need.
And what I mean, sometimes I have to hold them back. It's because some of the decisions that have to be made, we have to make as a group. And we have a meeting coming up on November 7th when the whole group makes those decisions. It's like when one person says, "This is what I'm going to do." Well, wait a minute. Maybe I can see you doing that. That would be great. But we're all going to decide this together on November the 7th, right? So we have a plan, and it is coming together, and we're glad to share it with you. So I'm going to open my computer to do City Council presentation number 1. This is part 1 of the introduction to the whole series of 12. So who's going to start off here? Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I think you started last time, so you can start this time.
Okay. So I want to make sure I'm not cutting my head off here.
Let me switch you a little bit.
Go a little bit. Okay. We may turn it back and forth when. Okay. So I will introduce the reader introduces themselves. I am providing these comments as a participant or a supporter in the Ending Homelessness Coalition. That's who we've been meeting with for a year, that we put together, and then my other organizations. And then over the next few months, you will be hearing more from representatives of a diversity of agencies and organizations, including the homeless sector and myself. Today, I want to introduce you to what we have learned over the past year in our study and discussion of ending homelessness in Corpus Christi. Okay?
Now where am I?
Right here.
Our mission. The mission of those meeting this year as an ending homelessness team is ending homelessness in practical terms. Ending homelessness is described in the professional literature as attaining functional zero homelessness. Functional zero is not absolute zero. Individuals are constantly entering and exiting homelessness. Functional zero homelessness simply means that homelessness is rare and non-reoccurring, right? Our approach is based on the research of best practices used by communities across the country which are actually ending homelessness. My goal today is to introduce our work to you. Our goal over the next several months is to share with you what we have learned this year about ending homelessness and how we can do that together in Corpus Christi. We are not laying the responsibility for ending homelessness at the feet of our city government. We are advocating collaboration, public and private collaboration, as one unified team. This is a high hurdle and perhaps the greatest challenge for meeting the goal of ending homelessness. But this level of collaboration is the only path for ending homelessness in Corpus Christi. We look forward to coming to share with you often, responding to questions, and being invited to meet with you one-on-one. The script we have shared with you today has links to more information and is available to the public by request.
So yeah, first of all, just collaboration. If we continue to have fragmented services that are from the street level that are ridiculously impossible to navigate, it's splintered. It's ineffective for everybody to just do their own little thing and not coordinate or collaborate with each other. Then you drastically limit the impact and the effectiveness of everything that everybody's doing. It's diluted. It has to be concentrated. The collaboration that we'll talk more about later, because I'm telling you now because it's probably the most important thing and probably one of the most challenging things for ending homelessness is just developing the collaborative teamwork of all the providers. They can't keep staying in their little silos and end homelessness. We have to come together. We have to become a team. We can't do it if we can't do it together.
That's true.
So it may take a little time, but we have a plan, and we'll go into that plan. the last of this 3-minute segment, which we've expanded now to like 12 minutes, but the last of this segment says that the status of homelessness in Corpus Christi, it's about the status. Homelessness in Corpus Christi is not getting better. What we are doing is not working. What we're doing is making the problem worse. Out of sight, out of mind is a game we play for the sake of those who think that if they can't see homelessness, that means it's gone away. But this is a game that only drives people who are experiencing homelessness to other neighborhoods, deeper hiding places, and away from the corridor of life-supporting services that they need. Keep cutting my face off, sorry. There we go. Furthermore, this game only pushes them further into survival mode, making their trauma and mental health issues worse, which in turn creates an environment that encourages more drug use and more violence. It's like breaking someone's legs and then telling them stand on your own 2 feet. It is. Homelessness can't solve by, can't be, we're editing as we go here, be solved. Ouch. Sorry guys, I just have to fix this now before we go on. Homelessness can't be solved by just targeting individuals or small groups of people surviving on the streets. I like to say, it's like a corporation that if you're experiencing a pattern of burnout, you're probably not going to fix that by focusing on the burnies. You've got a bigger problem. And we have a growing problem, not just in Corpus Christi, but across the country, a pattern of homelessness that's increasing. It's getting worse, and we're probably not going to fix that by trying to just focus on the people who are on the streets. We have a bigger social problem. So, at the end of each one of these public comments are links for more information, because we'll give out the links to anybody who, we'll hand them out to the council members, and we'll make them available to anybody in the gallery who wants a copy. To anybody who watches online, we'll offer to send it to them. And to the people who watch the video of the city council meeting, and we can push that on social media and invite them to look at that part of the city council meeting. And if they want a copy of the script and these footnotes that have links to more information, then we'll give that to them. So that's part 1, and let's just go straight to part 2, which will be presented the second week, but we're going to give it to you now because part 1 and part 2 go together. So I'll start up again. Over the next few months, you'll be hearing more from representatives of a diversity of agencies and organizations, including the homeless sector and myself. Today, I want to introduce you to what we have learned over the past year in our study and discussion of ending homelessness in Corpus Christi. At the last meeting, we spoke briefly about our mission of ending homelessness and about the status of homelessness in Corpus Christi. You want to pick it up there?
Ending homelessness. If there was a way to end homelessness, would that not be good to know about?
Well, yeah.
If there was a national movement to end homelessness, would it not be good for Corpus Christi to learn about that?
Yeah.
If communities across the country that are ending homelessness are being recognized and monitored on a federal website, would it not be helpful to find out about it?
I think so. Yes.
If there were best practices and approaches to homelessness that are driving the homeless population down to functional zero, rare and brief, would it be in the best interest of Corpus Christi to find out about them?
The answer is yes.
Yep. Or it would be, right?
Yes.
If anyone wants to know more, they can investigate Community Solutions, the Texas Homeless Network, or the federal government's All-In initiative. Ending homelessness is not some pie-in-the-sky pipe dream. Ending homelessness is happening, and it can be happening here.
And we've got links to all of the organizations that, there we go, we've got links to all of the organizations that Rose just read about. Okay, so what about the economic advantages of ending homelessness? There we go. If ending homelessness has always been an economic plus for communities that have been successful in accomplishing it, would that be of interest to Corpus Christi? Well, I hope so. If ending homelessness costs less than maintaining it, would it be a good thing for our community? Would it be worth knowing? Would it be worth some research to confirm that? So here's footnotes 8, 9, and 10, which will take you to links to know the data and the statistics about that. And finally, we should read this one together. This is the moral and humanitarian issue of ending homelessness. So even if it were not socially or economically advantageous, is there a moral bottom line, a universal human rights issue at stake in ending homelessness rather than perpetuating it? Well, yes. And if so, does that carry any weight in making a decision for our community? Even if it were not in our own self-interest to end the suffering on the streets that plague the rest of us, would it be worth doing the right thing? And if it is in the best interest of our community, socially and economically, isn't it even more of a moral imperative to seek the common good rather than stereotyping, fear, the stereotyping, the fear, and the hate that make a critical social problem worse instead of better? And I think the answer to that is absolutely.
Yes.
So we got a bunch of links and footnotes here for people to look at this information in more detail if they want to. Those are the presentations. Any last thoughts? Any parting shots here?
I just encourage everyone to maybe take advantage of the links that are on there, and you can go back and look at those websites and on your own on your own time, and kind of just just navigate and see what it is that it's all about. And you can, by just even one link, you can see what kind of progress can be made.
This video will be made available on a constant contact email that some of you are going to be receiving, and that has the script and the links that we encourage you to look at. Others may receive this through just a private request. Could you email me this? Or it could be they can find it on Facebook. And if anyone wants to add in the comments that they would like a copy of these public comment presentations, we'll be glad to do that.
We really want to come and be part of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Just come and talk to you on a one-to-one basis.
Any of you receiving this?
We talked about the tea last time.
About what? Yeah, the tea. That's just what I thought of. So two things. Number one, respond to this email if you're receiving an email. Respond to this email if you want to get together to have tea with CBCE. I'd be glad to put together a time to do that. If we have more than 5 people that want to do it, then I would love to do that. And if you're interested in being a reader and reading one of these public comments, then we would love to invite you to do that. You are only receiving through the first email that many of you are going to receive, just the first 2, but I'll be glad to email you the whole set of 12 comments, and you can sign up and say I'd like to present that to the city council. And we'll be in the public square when we do that, so a lot of people are going to get the message. So I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how it's going to end, but I know that this is important advocacy work.
We're putting our best forth. All of us are.
And when we say all of us, we mean beginning at the grassroots, beginning with the people who are experiencing homelessness, because that's what Coastal Bend Community Empowerment is about. We empower the communities that have lost power and lost hope and lost their community. So the homeless community, we are just being friends and trying to help support and organize the homeless community, those who are capable and have the motivation to organize them to reclaim their power, to reclaim their community, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is being driven from the grassroots. All the representatives of the provider organizations who came to the table over this past year came to meetings that were led by the homeless community.
Yes.
and me. They're the peer advocates, I'm their co-advocate, and the peer advocates would meet between the big meetings, the Ending Homelessness team meetings. We would meet and talk about, well, how did that go? What did we leave out? What did we need to do differently? And what are we going to put on the agenda for the next meeting?
Exactly.
All right?
Yes.
So this is, the homeless community is front and center. And because that's I don't know any other way to do this successfully. If we do it from the top down, people in an ivory tower saying, "Oh, this is, we know what they're like, and we know what they need, and this is what we're going to do."
Chances are that ivory tower is going to be empty. They can build a castle and put everything they think we need, but until you get to know somebody and build a relationship, then you get to know one another on a personal basis and have a full understanding.
That's right.
We appreciate all the support that everyone has given.
They have been very supportive,
Yes.
and we thank you for your support. If you're getting this video, it's because you've already been supportive of what we're doing. You just didn't know for the past year exactly what was going on. I couldn't take pictures. They weren't like Kodak moments and cute little pictures of people receiving goods and services and like feel good stuff. We've been
The trenches.
I've been in the trenches. Our
Yeah.
nose is to the grindstone. We've been working together with people in this larger community to actually understand and strategize how to end homelessness in Corpus
I
Christi.
think it's like peeling onions, a layer at a time.
Right. But it's coming together. I mean, we can see all the way through to the ending of homelessness in Corpus Christi.
Definitely.
We can't see every detail, but we know we have the broad outline
can
of
have
how
that.
that's going to happen. And we're already making some of the transitions that are going to happen. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Rose, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll see you for the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.